like a bluish purple. The colors are just extraordinary with the northern lights. And the last time I saw really good northern lights was back in my college days in the 70s in Vermont. And they were so extraordinary. They were like pulsating out, like pulsating. And it was the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. And so it's rare to have this kind of really heavy storm from the sun. But you're going to see more of this happen, and I'll get into that a little bit on the show, why you're seeing these electromagnetic disturbances and why these solar storms are so intense and how they're going to affect our planet. Also, we've raised right now $7,000 here at WSU. If you're not familiar, we are a non-commercial listen-supported station for all our lives, even when it started as a little station back in the day in the 30s. But station has come a long way since then. So since then, there are things we need, the things that keep us running. We're not a corporate operated station by IBM or some oil company. Our station depends on our listeners, and without them, we wouldn't exist. So it's really important that my listeners today take the time during the show to show support for my show, show support for this great radio station, this institution that's been around forever. I mean, it really feels like forever. And the dynamic of all the shows over the years, all the different varieties of programming, whether it's been jazz, rock, reggae, folk, public affairs, community affairs, we've done stuff that most stations don't do. And we have an all-voluntary staff, which is pretty incredible when you think of the people behind the scenes that produce, create, and make this station happen. We have one paid general manager, and that's a lot of work for one person to run a whole radio station like this. It's not easy, and he's been here for years doing a phenomenal job. We have one part-time programmer we have a programmer who programs all our programming and is a part-time paid programmer. And then we have just all our volunteers. We have all the people doing our news, direct public affairs. We have people, music directors, that are all volunteers. All these people put so much effort in our technical directors. We have people behind the scenes that make things happen. And, so we're thankful for that. But in order for us to all be here and to have this kind of democratic institution of WESU providing programming that no other station really provides, and in a world where there are less and less stations like this, even in the non-commercial sector of the band, we are thankful that we have the freedom to express, to be, it's like we're artists. We paint, create a painting. We have the ability to do all that, right? So we are thankful for the ability to do what we do as individual human beings here. And we aren't controlled by corporations. They don't tell us what to say, we have the freedom to create that painting on this radio station. And we cover in our local area, regionally, 6,000 watts of cosmic power. We reach people here on the radio side on highways that are driving on 84, 91, 95, Route 15, all our interstate highways going through Connecticut. You're listening to our station. If you're not on the internet, if you're not on TikTok, you're listening to us on your digital FM home radio or in the car or truck. You're hearing us in Litchfield County. You're listening to us in many parts of Connecticut, eastern Long Island, Niantic, Connecticut, all through this region, up Route 9, going up to Middletown, the whole area. We have a large FM audience, we have our internet audience. We have, for me, our TikTok audience. So good morning to our folks watching the show on my TikTok. So my show, I make sure everybody on my TikTok also knows about the show, which they do. And I'll ask my TikTok audience to also support our radio station. And you can go to WESUFM.org under pledge. There are some premiums. If you're interested in a t-shirt or a few things, we have those. If you want to give an unconditional donation, my goal is to raise at least 100, maybe 150 for the radio station from all my listeners, regardless of where you are, radio, FM, internet, or TikTok. Go to WESUFM.org. Make a pledge today. If you don't have the money, that's cool. That's okay. You can print out a pledge form on the website and send the money in when you have it. That's fine. I mean, that's certainly fine. If you are one of these people that are blessed with a debit card or a credit card, you can go right online, make a pledge. Please make a note whether you're pledging through a form that we send you or whether you are pledging through a card. Make sure you're making the pledge to Cosmic Eye Radio. Make sure that you just say the pledge is coming from my radio show. Don't pledge it to me specifically. You're pledging it to the radio station. But what I'm trying to say is, in plain English, is just let them know you were listening to WESU's Cosmic Eye Radio, but make the pledge to WESU. There you go. I think I got that out right. It's now coming up to about 12:41. No, actually, what am I saying? It's 11:41. I'm going way ahead in time here. How's that happening? Let's just bring it back a bit here. It's 11:41, not 12:41. I don't want to mess people up on the time here. You're going to say, well, I'm supposed to be at a luncheon today or whatever. So welcome to the show. Everybody, welcome who's watching on TikTok. Welcome everybody out there. I do see you. I have Sue in Michigan listening, watching on TikTok. Everybody out there. And hello to all the unknowns out there on the FM side here listening to WSU. Really top station in our Connecticut River Valley. And we broadcast, to let you know, just shy of Vermont. We used to get into Vermont, but there's a VPR station that years ago is on the same frequency and that kind of blocks us. But we do have listeners everywhere from Springfield, Mass, Northampton, Amherst, Greenfield, and south, and just in Massachusetts, Pioneer Valley. So we have a lot of FM listeners all over the place, and you're all beautiful people. We're going to get into a few things. We're going to have a guest on here, hopefully, and we'll see, maybe. Her name is April. I want to give you some updates. And there's a lot of things happening on the planet right now that people aren't quite aware of, maybe, that they should know. Quite a few things happening off planet that people need to know. And again, the views expressed here are not the views of WSU staff and management or that of the Wesleyan University. These views are the expression, and any information I give you are the expression of only the Cosmic Eye Radio. So again, these views do not necessarily represent the views of WSU staff or management or the university. All right? And so I wanted to say to you that there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that our government's doing, and they are doing it. This would be the secret levels of our government, the ones that are doing things that are not very cool. And you need to understand this because it's happening. There are people within the high levels of our government that are actually trying to prevent contact. There are people, unseen forces, that are in what we call a world environment of government. Not the people you see like prime ministers, not the people you see in a country where they have several parties, not the people you see in the United States in the Congress or the Senate. Those aren't the people. These people are trying to prevent what's going to happen anyway. They're not going to do it. They're trying their best to try to prevent contact with the people of Earth. It's not going to happen. They're not going to stop it. And this has been going on for quite some time. It started with the cover-up for 70 years. The 70-year cover-up, the cover-up of people knowing the fact that we were visited by people from other planetary systems, right? And we have been visited. We were visited for billions of years on this planet before you and I were even born. This planet has had many, many civilizations before we came along. We're not the exclusive, our human society is not exclusive to what's happened for billions of years on Earth. The Earth is billions of years old. So if the planet's billions of years old, don't you think that there have been other civilizations on Earth that lived here before us? Forget about the evolutionary thing about us coming from amoebas and fish. That's all hogwash, garbage. The planet's billions of years old, people. Now, what does that mean? So do you think for a couple of billion years there was nothing on Earth except the planet with rock and water? If anyone tells you that, they're lying to you. Okay? Our planet is billions of years old. Study it. Look it up. There's little things I will look up. I don't really get much into people's agendas on the websites or whatever. But we have a planet that has sustained life for billions of years. Okay? I hope you're listening. I hope you're tuning into what I'm saying here. I'm going to get to, there's a reason I'm saying this. There have been galactic civilizations that have come and gone on Earth. There have been intergalactic conflicts before we ever existed between positive forces of light and those that wanted to control and entrap different societies throughout the billions of years. So for example, the conflicts that occurred at one point between Lemuria and Atlantis, which did happen at some point. For whatever reason, it should have never happened, but it happened because there were some scientists who became so powerful they forgot why they were there. You know, they forgot. The people didn't want what was going on. They had no control over it. The lessons billions of years later have been learned. You know, sometimes you learn from your mistakes and you realize you made a mistake. So there's a lot going on here. There are people in positions of power that none of us know. All right? They don't even know us. Let me just make sure my volume is up here. Here we go. So there should be some sound here. I'm not sure. People on my TikTok were saying there's no sound. So hopefully you can hear me. I got the sound going here. Does anybody hear me on TikTok? You should. Okay, good. I think that my sound was down. I'm sorry about that. It is now up. Everything was up except on my TikTok. You know what it is? When I go live, I have to turn the volume up. Good. So now, so some people say no sound. Okay. But I am live here. You can hear me here. Yuppers. All right. Most people can hear me. Okay. So if you hear me, that's good. So now I'm going to say this again for those on the TikTok. We have people in places of high power that are beyond the prime ministers, the presidents, the different coalition governments around the world, in our country, the senators and the congressional people. These people have no idea what's going on. There is something happening, and I was saying this before, that we are a planet that's billions of years old. And in being that old, do you think there's not been other civilizations here for billions of years that have existed on Earth? If you think, as a human being, that we were the first intelligent level of life that came at some point from the colonial days through the historical periods of the Roman Empire and all this stuff, you think, if that's where you think everything began, I have news for you. You don't understand the history of our planet. The planet is billions, not millions, not thousands, billions of years old, the Earth. So in billions of years, do you think the Earth was void of life in its first billion years? Do you? Do you really think that, somebody out there? Because if you do, and you believe in the whole theory that we came from an amoeba, turned into a fish, then we were a monkey, and then we became a human, no, that's not the way it happened. That's a 3D scientific belief system. I'm going to throw it out the window. We came here from the stars. We came here from other planets. We just don't remember. That's why we have billions of people asleep. We came here beyond Earth. We came here as starseed. What is a starseed? A starseed is somebody who is basically a non-terrestrial being, whether you chose your Earth-based biological family or not, who knows? But you do have your biological family. You and that family might have a brother and a sister. You might be the only child. But you, at some point in your adult life, woke up. Okay? So in your adult life, you wake up and you say, wait a minute. This whole Earth thing looks kind of weird. Wait a minute. I am remembering I didn't come from this planet. I came from somewhere else. Once you remember that you've come from somewhere else and you're being reconnected with that star family, everything else becomes immaterial. It really does. You know, once you realize and you're fully conscious that you're not just an Earth human, that you are a person that is also a space being and has a space consciousness, a galactic consciousness, you can't go back. You can't say, oh, I just want to be a regular human being. I just want to be this regular person and go back. It doesn't work that way. When you progress to wake up, something happens to you and you wake up and you have your brothers, your sisters, and your biological Earth family, your mother, your father, and they don't even understand who you are now. That's okay if they don't understand who you are now, because you understand who you are. Whether somebody understands who you are now as a galactic human being, spiritually awakened, makes no difference. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. As long as you know who you are and you stand in that foundation of understanding, that's all you got to do. That's it. Okay? That's all you got to do. You know? And the thing is, the planet is going to go through some major, major shifts. Look at the solar storm for the last 3 days. Started, I think, Friday and Saturday. This massive solar storm, the corona ejections of energy from the sun. What do you think that is? What do you think's happening there? What do you think that energy represents? What does that energy represent to you? How is that affecting you? I would say, even if you're not a person that's tuned into it, I would say every human being that's seeing the northern lights, as we call them, is being affected on some level physically and also on a conscious level mentally in their body. I totally believe that to be true. Okay? When we look at the aspects of what's happening here, it is amazing. It is dramatic. It is important. We're not just going to spend 3 days looking at these beautiful energies of color from the northern lights. There's something more than just seeing the northern lights. Yes, it's beautiful. But if you center yourself during this experience and you allow yourself to absorb the energy coming from the sun through this corona ejection of energy from the sun, that's really powerful. It will activate your cellular structure. It'll activate your consciousness. It'll activate your whole body. It'll activate everything in you. Okay? If you so choose. On another scale, there are certain things happening that people are not aware of. And in a little bit, if I don't get April on here, the number's here, 860-685-7700. I'm sorry, 860-6, let me see here, what am I doing here? If you want to join me on the show, it's 860-675-7700. That's 860-675-7700. And if I don't get April on the show, I'll play the recording of my interview about her. She went off planet. April is a contactee. She lives in Vermont. She went off planet last night. I had been on her live momentarily before I went on my Encounter show. Minutes later, I go on my show Encounters. Everyone starts coming in like crazy, telling me that she just went off planet onto the spaceship. Okay? And eventually she came back. She came into my encounters show, and I was interviewing this one woman who's had encounters with the space people a year and a half ago, and she's been having encounters on some mental level with them. And then we had April on, and she explained why she was taken off planet. Okay? I'm going to play that after if I don't get her on live on the phone, I'll play that segment of what she said was happening. And this goes back into, and it's almost like 4 minutes before 12, this goes back into the sinister things that some people behind the scenes are trying to do with the reptilians. And the reptilians, I've stated it before, these specific grouping of reptilians working with our government for years have done everything possible to try to stop contact from occurring with the star people. The reptilians. You've heard of the word. Whatever your positions are on the reptilians, I'm going to tell you, they've been working hand in hand with our secret government, so to speak, to do things to prevent contact, to do things against humanity that are just not good. You know, they want to have their power and control, which they're not going to have much longer. They really don't have any power or control at all. So these are the types of beings that try to do sneaky things behind the scenes in everyday society and think they can get away with it. They're not going to be able to. Just to let you know. Okay? We're going to go to a musical break. We'll be right back. This is WESU FM Middletown. WESU Middletown. It's now almost 12 o'clock. It's now 11:58 in the morning. And we are in our pledge drive. We've raised about 7,000 K. And we really appreciate everybody here. You know, so definitely we want to get up to where we need to be. And we can with your support. We'll get to some music right now. And we'll be back in just a minute or two. Let me pull this up here. Hey, Renee. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I wasn't impressed. I thought it was more like a promotion for their TV show. I didn't think I knew a lot of what they already talked about. I didn't get any new information. But I'm going to get in touch with those guys directly and try to get them on the radio. No, I did the VIP thing. I didn't do the VIP thing where you were. I could have, but it was getting kind of late, and we just decided to go. It's too much of a line. But I'll get in touch with them. What happened with you? Yeah. Well, let me get going, so I'm going to put this audio clip on, and we'll talk to you again. All right, bye-bye.
give you my heart. I don't care if you wanna tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause there's a sky full of stars. They can see
And you're listening to CosmicEyeRadio. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. It is now 12:04 p.m. on a beautiful Mother's Day weekend here at WESU-FM, non-commercial, listener-supported, Pacifica-affiliated radio. And I'm your host, Amped Up, CmdrAleon, with you here on my radio show every Sunday morning, 11:30 to 1. You can watch me on TikTok. You have to download it. You can watch me on TikTok with Encounters. We had about 300 to 400 people on our show watching it last night. And that's my show that is the main show, so we get a lot of people on the evening. So we appreciate that very much. And please support, again, WESU Radio and our pledge drive. Go to wesufm.org/pledge. There are premiums, t-shirts, and other goodies that you can get. You can pledge, and we do take debit or credit cards on the website. Make your pledge and say, I support Cosmic Eye Radio and WESU Radio. If you are a person that doesn't have the money right now, you can download the form under the pledge area. Print out the form. When you have the funds, just send your pledge in, whatever it is, and say that you're donating it on behalf of the Cosmic Eye Radio Show so they know what show you were listening to. All right? And welcome everybody out there on TikTok, everybody all over the world on the internet, our radio listeners, wherever you may be, welcome to the show. And in a little bit, we're going to play a portion of a video, audio side of it, from my Encounters show with April, who had come back from the ship last night, and she will share something that occurred on the ship. And you're going to get to see this. And that you won't see it. Well, you could if you're on YouTube, but you're going to get to hear this if you're traveling on the car, if you're listening on the internet, or what have you. You'll be able to actually hear what happened. It was pretty amazing, and like I said, it was very serious what occurred off planet, and certain things had to be done to stop what was happening, because the negative ETs working with this, with certain people in top secret levels of government, they were allowed to do this, and you're going to hear what happened in a few minutes. Matter of fact, we're going to go into one more song here, and we will get to that portion of the video. We're going to play this from Attunement, and we'll let you hear this right now. This is WESU Cosmic Eye Radio. I'll be playing the segment with April in just a minute or two. And you're listening to WSUFM.org, non-commercial listener-supported Pacific affiliated radio. Let's go to this track right now, and we'll be back in a moment. Okay, we're going to play the segment with April, and this segment is from my encounter show last night. She had come back from being on the Ashtar Command ship. What happened was really important. For those that don't know what's going on, April is a contactee. She lives in Vermont and in the remote areas near Canada, and I'll play this audio segment for those on radio that have never heard it. She works with our space family. Everything we're going to share with you is from her actual being taken off planet last night, prior to 11 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to bring the audio down here. We're going to bring up the part of the interview here where she explains what happened. She'll tell you exactly what happened with the reptilians and with some people in high levels of our government that were involved in this thing to do something that should have never been done. Again, the views expressed here are the views of the Cosmic Eye Radio Show, Astro Command Radio. The views expressed here do not necessarily reflect the views of the staff or management at WESU or Wesleyan University. So let's listen to this audio segment. You're not going to hear about this anywhere on national media, on CNN or NBC. This really happened, and you need to hear this. And I knew I had to go live, and they were telling me, Commander, get on your live, do your show. And I was like, okay, but I want to listen to ABBA. So you were all like, dancing. It was like, I was like getting into, I love ABBA. And so could you, and it's, again, you don't have to share anything if you don't want to, but what do you, is there anything you want to say that?
Yeah, they definitely brought me up there just quickly for a reason, and it was because they wanted me to come down and talk to everybody about these lights that are going on, that everybody is out watching. They basically the government shot up some rockets and then had some refurbished ships up there, and they have chemicals that they're spreading through this, and they were making a big deal about these lights, and everybody was wondering why these lights weren't the same colors, weren't the right colors that they normally are. And it's because they put chemicals in these and these lights, and these refurbed ships are up there spreading these chemicals around, trying to make people sick, trying to make
Really?
they consider the undesirables sick. While I was up with them, we gathered up these refurbished ships with some government people and some reptilians that were on them, just up doing the most up there, and they went up and retrieved them to stop
Oh, good.
that. So just a little heads up, if anybody is really out there watching these lights, you might want to wear some kind of facial mask. The Ashtar Command is out there cleaning up the chemicals now.
Oh, good.
They're out there actually doing it right now.
Oh, good.
We were out there. I was actually on a couple of the ships because they moved me from one of the weather ships onto one of their working ships to go and gather up these refurbed ships because they caught them.
Oh, wow. That's good. I was really concerned about that when I heard that. And I'm glad, people need to know our Ashtar Command, which we're part of on the ships, they are right on top of this. I'm pretty sure these government and reptilian people are going to be dealt with, and they'll be sent off planet to somewhere.
Yeah, we ushered them down to or moved them down to a holding facility.
Oh, good.
They're going to be pushed off planet.
Good.
In the next few hours, actually.
Oh, good, good. So this is what the Ashtar Command is about for people. They are our space family, where I come from. If I was still on the ship and not in my things, so it's good to understand that we are, like I said, there are still these negative ETs and government people that want to try to do all these negative things to Earth. They're not going to be allowed to do it. They think they got it figured out, but they don't. Anytime they try to do something to poison the Earth or people, they will be caught in a nanosecond, like they're being done now. And for people that are new to the show, April is a dear friend. She also is. We have space family on the ship. She has a mother and father and siblings. I have a mother and father and siblings on the ship. I will put it this way: Okay, so that's that was the important information regarding what happened the other night. The Ashtar Command has taken care of it. It's unfortunate that we have to have our Space Command stop something that would affect the human population on this planet. And what they were releasing, as soon as it was released, they were right in action, the command, with cleaning up what was being brought into the atmosphere of our planet, which would have affected, really, I think it would have affected billions of people, to tell you the truth. And they have, been steadfast in, let me just make sure here, they've been steadfast in making sure that when these things happen, they stop it, because it can affect negatively people on our planet. Men, women, and children. I mean, everybody, in a sense, right? So it's a good thing that our space people, the star people, are being proactive. You're going to see more activity from the star people, meaning those beings of light that represent the very best of the many different systems and planetary systems beyond Earth. And that is a good thing. For anybody out there, wherever you are thinking that there's not going to be any contact on our planet, you better wake up soon, because there's going to be contact on our planet. Let's put it this way. The positive levels of light, and I'm being very specific, positive levels of light, meaning the star people from many planetary systems have had it with our planet's governments. The people that are running all these so-called superpowers, and they're the ones that primarily have been trying to cause all these shenanigans. They've had it. They're not waiting 1,000 years to make contact with the people of Earth. They're not waiting 200 years. They're not waiting 10,000 years. They're not waiting 1 million more years. They've had it. You're going to see activity increase on this planet above the Earth. You just have to open your eyes to see it. If you keep your eyes closed, you can do that. That's your free will to close your eyes. I don't mean physically close your eyes, but close your consciousness out to what's happening. You could do that if you want to. I'd rather keep my eyes open. I'd rather be able to see what's happening. I'd rather be able to look in the sky and say, wow, look what's happening. Look at all those spaceships coming to Earth. Look at all those spaceships in our oceans coming out of the ocean. Look at all the space people that exist that we were told never existed. Look at that. Look at that. Because you need to look at that. You need to understand it. Jawsman, a person on TikTok, saying, Commander, do you think we'll have contact in 2024-25? I think you're looking at 2025-26 for the initial beginnings. I think people are going to have contact throughout this year, but the biggest part of things will be within the next year and a half. The biggest part of it will be in the next year and a half, which is, in context, the timelines are now changing. They're increasing. Keeping tabs on the timeline of contact, but it is totally manifesting itself in ways that we could not imagine. Okay? Yes, and also, yes, 744 GT, you're correct. The increase in close encounters, meaning the people that are having contact. And a matter of fact, I'm going to play a portion of a video of this woman. Let me see here. This woman, if I can get her. Let's see here. I'll try to figure out the portion of the video. Let me just bring it up for a minute. Let me see if I can find her. There's this woman. I think I have her here. This is really important. This woman, she was taken off planet. Let's see if I got her here. Okay, I'm going to play this segment of this woman, Jessica. You can't make this stuff up. She was on my show last night, and she was physically taken off planet from her home. And she was taken by space people who were human. And when she got on the ship, there were other human beings taken on the spaceship as well. Okay? And she said, and you'll listen to this, she'll talk about the ship, how big it was. They took her and another person. They gave them a living quarters to stay on the ship. And they were able to look out and see all the stars in the universe. They were in outer space. They were on a spaceship. I want you to hear this. This is pretty amazing.
Hello, Cliff.
Hello.
So tell us, your story intrigues me. You actually have had contact since you were a kid, correct?
Yeah, I have had crazy things happen. I actually get apprehensive talking about it because, most people in the world think we're crazy when we bring it up, right?
Not anymore. 30 years later, they don't. We're in the majority.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started when I was little. I would wake up and kind of see things out of the corner of my eye, not really knowing what was going on. And then they would start. I actually would be able to communicate, but it's not a communicate where you're actually physically talking. It's like your thoughts are replaced. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like you think something and that thought is immediately replaced with an answer. That started happening. And my mom put me in therapy when I was little because she thought that, something was wrong with me.
See? And well, that's what the people do. They don't understand the levels of what's going on, so they think, oh, I'll put you in therapy. That'll solve the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
they don't realize they're not to the levels, and because they haven't had any contact, whatever, maybe they're not supposed to. You're the one, maybe because you're the star seed, and you just had you were birthed by your mom, biological Earth mom, but you are the star seed. You are the one. And do you know what the star seed is?
Yeah, no, I've done research in it. I don't know.
Okay, you have.
I've never been told by them that I am. And as I've gotten older, it has been less frequent. However, I'll tell you this, over the last, I'd say 18 months, it's been picking up again. And I think it's more because my vibration is rising. I'm new to this show, so if I'm off like crazy, you can tell me.
You're not off. On this show, I'm a contactee. I had contact with space people in the 60s.
Okay.
I were on a spaceship. I went upstairs from my mother and father's kitchen. My brother was downstairs, and I felt this urge to go upstairs into my brother's room. I opened the wooden blinds, and there's this flying saucer with men and women in light blue spacesuits and children, and they're human, very human, and they're very loving, beautiful. And that was my first contact when I was a kid.
Okay.
So I can relate to people that say they've had contact. You're not crazy. 30 years later, I'm like very popular on radio, and I went on TikTok here since late 2022, 23. People told me to get on here, and this is what I do. I do a show called Encounters, and it's a spiritual UFO talk show.
And that is how it feels when you're with them. It's spiritual. So over the last 18 months, like my vibration, I've been really getting into spirituality, astral projection, stuff like that. I do have to do guided astral projections to be able to do it. It's not something that comes naturally to me. I have to be kind of spoken into it. But that is how I ended up on their ship. So I don't know what your experience is or what anybody's experience is on this show. And I know that it might sound crazy. Oh my God, it sounds crazy to say it out loud. But I was doing a guided astral projection. And I felt all of this energy come racing through my body. I was in my bed, but it felt like I was levitating. You know how when you're lucid, like you're awake, but you're not awake, you're lucid? Felt like I was levitating, like kind of waiting for them to come into the room and say, we're going. But there was no come into the room and say, we're going. The next thing I knew, I was on the ship. We're walking, this gigantic, beautiful ship with these windows that you can see out into the galaxy. I still see it vividly today, and it was at least a year and a half ago. I was given a room. I had a room to stay in. It felt like I was there forever, but I woke up in my bed the next day. There was actually, this is the crazy part. There was actually a conflict going on, and it was like it was me and this other group of humans, right? And we're on the ship, and we all know we're there to help during this conflict, just innately, right? And it's like this amazing, it wasn't war. It was like these talks of, like, we have to get this settled, and you're a part of this, and we have to settle this, and this is why you're here.
This is really becoming interesting. When you just said that, I'm telling you, I'm like feeling it. I can completely feel what you're going through from a year and a half ago. The beings that you were on the ship with, were they human?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They were taller than me, but they looked human.
They were human. You have to, I'm going to hook you up when. And so that's, something that happened last night on my TV program, Encounters. And this woman came on, and she was physically taken onto the ship. She didn't astral project herself off anything when this happened a year and a half ago. She's actually physically taken. And she understood that when we got done with the discussion. This was last night. She wasn't taken last night. She was on my Encounters show on TikTok last night. But she was taken onto an Astro Command shaped spaceship that was absolutely beautiful, and she was in this room where they had them stay. All these other humans that were there that were taken like her, they had a room that was beautiful, and they were able to see out the window of the spaceship. They were able to see the stars and everything. And now she says, now it's starting to re-happen again. She says, now I'm starting to have a sense that I'm going to be contacted again. And I believe she will be contacted again because it's time. It's time for the people that were contacted maybe a year and a half ago, maybe a few months ago. Those that are being contacted by the Ashtar Command are going to have more contacts with the Ashtar Command. If you don't know what the Ashtar Command is, please let me know, because I work with the Ashtar Command. I am from the Ashtar Command. And yes, I am human in every single aspect of physical form. I'm also a cosmically conscious human being. I have my Earth consciousness, my non-Earth consciousness, which is my galactic consciousness, in my Ashtar Command level, and I am operating in what you call cosmic Christed consciousness. So this young lady, Jessica, is going to be taken on the ship again. I don't know when she's going to be taken on, but she will be taken on the ship again. Similar to what has been going on 15 times with April in Vermont, this woman, Jessica, is going to start having reoccurring situations where she is taken on board the ship, and these other humans, who I don't even know who they are going to also get more contact. This contact will be increasing around the planet as time goes on. In these next 12 months, I would believe there are people listening on the radio, there are people who are watching on TikTok right now, that there are certain people, you know who you are, and I might not even know who you are, but you know who you are. It's time to focus on meditation, get serious about it, get focused on meditation, on the inner levels of yourself, get prepared to be in a state of physical contact that will be manifested in the highest levels of light, meaning more and more people. I don't care if you live on a little island off of China. I don't care if you are off the coast of India. I don't care if you're in a little town in the Himalayan mountains. Wherever you are, people who are supposed to be contacted are going to start having contact. And this is going to start happening for many, many people. Now understand, we have billions and billions of human beings on the planet, but we have millions and millions of people that are awakened souls, that have woken up to who they are. You know who you are. You know how awake you are. And I think Matt has a question on TikTok. Matt, I do see your question. What is your question? And we'll try to answer it. And of course, if people want to call in the show, you can give us a call at 860-685-7700. You can come on my radio show here at the station at wecufm.org. Internationally, you just have to call 860-685-7700, and we'll put you on the air. Any of our TikTok people, if you want to be guests on the show and have a question for me, I can answer your questions here on the radio. Garden Key says, I was contacted to last May and was spoken to telepathically. So Garden Key, if you want to call my show now and share your story, 860-685-7700 is the radio station number, 860-685-7700. If Garden Key, you want to come on my radio show here, we have a large audience. I'd love to hear your story, and I'm sure our radio listeners would like to hear it. So if you decide you want to call, give us a call. Matt says, we had a light show in London, but I would love to share my experience. So Matt, you would have to call up the radio station from London in the United States. So you'd have to, our station number is 860-685-7700. I think you have to dial 011 for an international call, and then you hook up to 860-685-7700. We'd love to hear your show. So anyone who has a space ET related story, and you want to share it with our listeners, please do so. The sun seems to be coming out here in beautiful downtown Middletown, Connecticut, near the Connecticut River Valley. We're in the Connecticut River Valley anyway. So if I see anyone wishing to share a story, we have less than 30 minutes left on our show, which is 11:30 to 1 Sunday mornings. And do support WESU Radio. We're in our pledge drive. We've raised over 7,000 American US dollars. We need to raise whatever amount we need to raise. I don't even see what the final total is, but please support our station and please make a pledge. If you do a pledge on our radio station website, go to WESUFM/pledge. You can get a premium t-shirt, a few different things, but also just do it unconditionally because you love the fact that we have no corporate control over what we do here. Okay? And again, if you want to be a guest, I can definitely take at least 1 or 2 guests on the air. 860-685-7700. Coming up May 25th. May 25th is a really important date. May 25th, we'll be going live on TikTok, and we're going to be in an apple orchard field nearby. And if you're in the region and you want to participate in what we call an Ashtar Command C5 gathering, we are a co-coordinator of the C5 gathering of the Ashtar Command C5 group here in Connecticut, in the U.S. We're going to have a special event happening that night, and we're going to be having myself, April, who's our contact in Vermont, who's been on the ships 15 times. She'll be with us. We're going to have Kit Kat, who's a TikToker. She'll be with us. We're going to have Chesno, who's a Connecticut-based friend of mine. He'll be with us. And hopefully we're going to try to get this one other person, Johnny, in New Hampshire, New Jersey, which is not New Hampshire. We're going to try to get him with us. Plus our regular group of our C5 will be at this apple orchard. And we're going to go live May 25th on my Encounters show at around 8 o'clock, 8:30. So you have to email me at CmdrAleon, CmdrAleon at AOL.com. If you're interested, that's CmdrAleon at AOL.com, whether you're a radio listener, TikTok viewer. You have to contact me, and I'll give you more information about the apple orchard, about the gathering. I want to make sure who's ever going to be interested, make sure you're centered, you're operating in the highest light possible, and that's really important, that every single individual that we have coming is operating and centered in the frequency of love. The frequency of love is the most important thing when it comes to visual contact with our spaceships. We want everybody to be in that level who's going to be coming, potentially. And this will be here in Connecticut, here in the United States. All right, that's May 25th. For more information, contact me directly. I will give you the information. If you're on TikTok, you can message me on TikTok. I will give you the information. All right? And we're coming up. Wow, the sun's really coming out now. It's about 34 p.m. And coming up at 1 o'clock is Karen, who has some beautiful singer-songwriters, women artists, whether it be bands or individual artists. She has a phenomenal program of singers and women singers and songwriters, and she'll be here at 1. And I want to just say hello to everybody listening on radio. If you're coming through the state, welcome to our show. If you've just found our station, you're listening to one of the best non-commercial stations I can think of here on the planet, right here at ESU. And let me just turn this thing off here. I'm going to play another song here. This is music of the Pleiades, and we're going to play a little bit of this here. If you wish to join us on the radio, folks, whether you're listening on the radio, if you're on TikTok, you want to be on the show and share your experiences with star people or ETs, give us a call now, 1-860-685-7700. I'm going to give you that number again. Dial 1 if you're out of state. Dial 1 first, 860-685-7700. 7700 while I'm playing the music. And if you want to come on the air and you have a story related to ETs or UFO related matter, we'll have you as a guest. Let's listen to this for a minute. And you're listening to The Commander on WSUFM.
How to get the most of Grandpa.
And we're back with you. This is Cosmic Eye Radio. I'm CmdrAleon. Welcome to the show. It is now about 12:38. I don't know where the one came out of there. 12:38, and you're watching us on the TikTok stream. This is Cosmic Eye Radio. Tonight we'll be on at 11 o'clock with Encounters, our big show that's on TikTok. And we had a couple hundred people on watching last night. And that's usually we have a lot of people. So if you're not used to what I do here, whether you're on radio or listening to it or TikTok, download TikTok to be able to watch us under CmdrAleon, CmdrAleon 2022. That's how you can find me. CmdrAleon at 2022 on my TikTok. I want to get into some UFO news here from UFO Sightings Daily. I find this video pretty interesting. It says UFO rising out of Seneca Lake in New York. Water dripping off it April 29th of last month. And there's a video, and let me see if there's any audio to this. Let me take a look. Well, the video is on TikTok. It doesn't say, I'm not sure who the person is, but it shows that there's an object causing like a dome or a bubble as it's coming out of the water in Seneca Lake. Now, in many of these regions, there have been spaceships that go into the waters. I don't know how big Seneca Lake is in New York. Maybe it's a really big lake with a deep area to it. But the video shows this person has a recording of this craft coming out of the lake as it goes up. It creates like a bubble around it or something. It was pretty interesting. And I think it's T. Shapri or something. T, welcome. T's on TikTok. Welcome, T. Good to have you with us. And I'm just multitasking with some of the comments here. Good to have you, T. And T, you can see me on tonight at 11 o'clock on our normal time on Encounters. So welcome. This is my radio show for new people on TikTok. You can watch me here on Sunday mornings, simulcasting the show from the radio side, and also our internet side. So I want to play this song here for you. And I want people to get ready for the fact that we, as I was talking about contact, it doesn't matter what people think anymore. We've been so programmed and conditioned on this planet to believe certain things that our 3D governments tell us about everything. Give me a second here. Everything that our 3D governments tell us, and it's all based on lies. So if anybody does not believe we are going to have physical contact, as I was saying before the break, we are physically going to have contact with our star family. Those of you who are listening on radio, on the internet, or through TikTok who are watching this, you know, whoever you are, out of 130 people watching on the TikTok stream, you know instinctively that you're going to have contact at some point. Now, it might not be happening tomorrow morning or tonight. You know, you feel it now. And be honest with yourself. Be real honest with yourself. And understand, if you're being told you're going to have contact, if you're getting messages in your dream state that you're being contacted and you're seeing beings of light in your dreams, understand you're being prepared for physical contact. So what they're doing is, in your dream state, they're coming into the dream state because that's the state where you don't feel any sense of, like, I have to put up a shield. When you're in your dream state, there is no shield. If you're going to have contact, they're preparing you for contact. And you can be listening on the radio about this. You can be on the internet listening to this. You can be watching this right on TikTok. I will guarantee you, in the next 12 months, many of you, even people I don't even know who you are, you will manifest that contact. You're going to learn very quickly how this happens. You're going to learn this. You have to learn this in order to understand it. You can't keep a blind eye to what's happening. You might be a person that's being contacted right now mentally in your dream state by people of light from other planets. And you're saying, no, I don't want to do this. I'm not ready to do this. And they will respect that. But understand, you can't run away from the truth. You can't run away from the future. Especially when it comes to transformation of the planet, which is going on right now with all the crazy stuff going on in the planet, with all the things happening on Earth. Off planet, there are things happening too, unrelated to the things happening on the planet, right? There are things happening off planet that you might totally not understand completely, and that is all right if you don't understand them. You're still a human, you're still in this human form, so therefore how could you understand everything when you've been trained to believe all the things that were lies on this planet for over 70 years? And when you're taught things that are lies by people that control the media, the mass media, the major media, and who control every aspect, including education and so forth, how are you going to know the cosmic truth? How are you going to even know yourself, who you are, right? How are you going to know that? You're not. They're not going to tell you the truth. So we're getting real here, right? We're getting real here now. We're talking about disclosure. We're here about busting the matrix. The commander came to Earth for one of the main reasons, and many reasons. One of the reasons in my adult life I came here is to bust people's matrix, their belief systems, the 3D things you've been taught and ingrained in your consciousness, in your brain. I'm here to say, throw it out the window. Get rid of it. Clear your consciousness. Clear your mind. Clear your brain. Whatever. Clear it. Get rid of it. Recycle yourself. You know? Get rid of all the stuff that's been clobbered up for 20, 30 years, 40 years, whatever amount of years you've been on Earth. Get rid of it. All that old stuff. Let it go. Just let it, as much as you might want to hold on to it because it's safer, let it go. When you let it go, I guarantee you there's going to be new energies that will go into your cellular structure, into your consciousness. You're going to feel like a brand new person. Not only that, you'll be ready to facilitate understanding who you are internally. And in doing such, you'll be ready for having contact. Okay? Contact means contact. The dream state is, I've always stated, that is the meeting place between this reality and the cosmic reality, right? So as you come together like this, you make a connection. But if you're like this, you're trying to get there, you're not there yet, there's something blocking you, get rid of the things that are blocking you, that are clobbered up in your consciousness. So when you get rid of the things that are blocking you, it now comes together like this. You see what I mean? Instead of like this, hesitation, blockage, now it's all together like this. You see what I mean? And that's what is important. The beauty of every single person out there, and you're all beautiful people, you all came here for a reason. You didn't come here to be human beings, to just have a 9-to-5 job, retire, maybe go on a trip to Europe, or maybe have enough food to eat each week, getting your, Social Security money or whatever, wherever country you live in. That's not the purpose why we're here. We're not here to perpetuate having to live in a planetary system controlled by people with things that have nothing to do with who we truly are. We are here to liberate the planet. We are here to transform the planet. We are here to liberate the planet. When I say the word liberate the planet, I do mean liberate the planet. And we are not pets. We are here to do what has not been done in this lifetime. We are here to get rid of all the negative ETs who have been working with our governments and giving them reverse engineered technology, in turn for them being able to, over the last 30 years, abduct human people. That includes the reptilians and also a large number of what is called the Zeta Reticuli, and maybe one other group. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. I don't go on internet websites looking up this information, folks. I don't look up information. I am and have the information. I download everything directly. I don't have any boards. I don't have any cards. I don't have any big crystal balls. None of that stuff. But we're coming up to about 10 minutes before 1, and I'm on a roll here. So I want you to know that things are going to happen. Things are going to be changing. I want people to get out of their heads and start realizing there's a cosmic reality that exists, a galactic reality that exists, a spiritual reality that exists, and that you are not just here to have a human experience. You are having it, but if that's all you think you're supposed to have is a human experience and then you die when you get old, you're not looking at the bigger picture. You need to look at the bigger picture. For those that might be thinking that way, I'm not saying everybody is. For those that are thinking that way, look at the bigger picture. Meditate. Learn how to meditate if you don't do it. If you've never done it, get doing it now. Get centered. Learn how to listen to higher vibrational patterns of music that are what I call ambient Christed music or starseed music. Ambient sounds of high vibrational patterns of sound. And in your meditations, learn how to meditate. Center yourself in what I call a cosmic Christed frequency of light in order to eventually train yourself and your consciousness to be open for mental contact. It will be mental contact, which is telepathy first, until you're ready to have physical contact. So mental and then physical. Mental means the conscious, and the physical means the physical, like you and me right here. So get in touch with yourself. Don't go all over the internet trying to find the answers, because the answers you're getting on the internet are from other human beings creating their thing, whatever it is. They're creating their thing, doesn't mean it's your thing, although they think it has to be your thing. I'm all about busting the matrix, which means I want you to be free of all belief systems to the point where you're now at the pure origin of cosmic consciousness. When you're at the pure origin of cosmic consciousness, you are then ready to make contact with our space family. And if you don't believe there's a space family, meaning other spiritual beings of light beyond Earth, I will bust your matrix. If I have to shake you 1,000 times to wake you up, I'll do it. Now, if I have to shake you, I'm going to do it nicely. But I'm going to still shake your belief system. Kelly says, I asked the question, can you please tell me? Kelly, what's your question? I am looking at viewers on, and we have Ann saying, I like your hair grown out. Kelly, what's your question? I'll try to answer it. We have 10 more minutes left on the show. Jordan, please tell me about your new light. I think you're talking about the light that I use on my live broadcast. I don't have time to get into it. I'll have to get into it next Sunday. Kelly, I'll try to answer your question quickly. If you can, less TikTok. Do you believe in God? Yes. Let me say something about God. The vibration of level we should listen to. Well, the vibration is, listen to, on YouTube, you can get what we call higher vibrational ambient space music. So you want to listen to spiritual ambient space music. Listen to ambient Christ conscious music. Those are the two highest levels of sound that you want to listen to when meditating. You can go on YouTube. YouTube is the best place to get this, and go on to ambient meditation music. That'll be good. And yes, in terms of God, yes, we do. All the spiritual beings of light believe in God. God created the whole universe. God has nothing to do with whether you're a religious person asking this. God does not belong in a church, a temple, a mosque, or anything. Only on earth have people put God into their specific religions. God has no earth-based place in terms of religions. God created the whole multiverse. God created the whole universe, multiverses, different parallel dimensions, realities. God is not boxed into anything. So do I believe in God? As a space being, yes. As a human being, yes. But not in a house of religion. God cannot be boxed in. And anybody who boxes God into their religion does not understand God. I thank you for your question. I wish I had more time to get into it. Jordan, I'll have to do that. Listen to my show tonight at 11 on Encounters, 11 p.m. East Coast will be on Encounters on TikTok. And anyone who does not have TikTok, that's right, Paul, God is not a religion. But tune in tonight. We have to go. We have another show coming up here. I'm going to play this song real quick and see if I can get it in here. And you want to send my love to all of you out there. Thank you for listening, and make a pledge today to WSUFM, WSUFM.org/pledge, and make your pledge and say you were listening to the Cosmic Eye and you love the show, and make a pledge to WSU. Everybody take care, peace, love, and light. We'll catch you later. We're going to bring this up. Let's get this up here. Take care, everybody.
I long to tell you that I'm always thinking of you. I'm always thinking of you, but my words just blow away. Words just blow away. It always ends up to one thing, honey, and I can't think of right words to say. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wherever I am, girl, I'm always walking with you. I'm always walking with you, but I look and you're not there. Whoever I'm with, I'm always talking to you. I'm always talking to you, and I'm sad that you can't hear. Sad that you can't. It always ends up to one thing, honey, when I look and you're not there. Oh,
Hello, Karen. How are you? Good afternoon. Oh yeah, let me just get my drink. How are you doing? Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Have a great show, right?
Thank you.
How can I tell you that I love you? Love you, but I can't think of the right words to say.
Hello, everybody.
That I'm always thinking of you. I'm always thinking of you, but my words just blow away.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. And we're in Studio B. Bring Cat Stevens down. We're in Studio B right now. And we're going to be on tonight. For all the new people, you can watch us tonight at 11 on a regular show. Every night, most nights at 11 p.m. Encounters, 11 p.m. at night. That's our regular show. And again, we're going to be gathering May 25th in Connecticut at the Apple Orchard. For people that are centered, you have to be, if you're coming, you must come unconditionally with an unconditional love frequency, or don't come. Hey, Paranormal Ghostbusters. Glasgow, good to see you, Glasgow. Good Lass, that's a great name, Good Lass. Good Lass, we're going to have to follow you from Glasgow. Good Lass, we're now following you. Everybody follow everybody else out here. And if you have a story to tell tonight, you can tell it. If you have encounters with space people and you've been physically taken on a ship, mer people, the fairies, the Sasquatch, if you've been into the inner earth, what we call the Garther Network, or the subterranean cities on our planet, you can join us tonight. Our show is always cosmic and galactic oriented. No paranormal discussion. There's other people on YouTube and here on TikTok that talk about paranormal things. We don't do it. We're very, very laser focused on our show. And I've been on the radio for 21 years. This is my 21st year on NPR Pacifica Radio here in Connecticut. And I'm also a contactee. So the beautiful thing is I've had contact with real people that are human, that are space people back in the 60s when I was a kid. And they were wearing light blue space outfits. And their ship was a flying saucer type craft. Matt, if you want to share your story tonight, Matt, we'll be on tonight. I'm going to follow you, Matt. And we'll be on this evening after 11 p.m. So we'll definitely get to guest interviews tonight on my TV program, Encounters, here on TikTok. And you can also watch all my previous shows, folks. Go to Ashtar Command Spaceship News, Ashtar Command Spaceship News on YouTube. Again, Ashtar Command Spaceship News is my YouTube channel. You can watch all the previous shows that I have done at night, and we'd love to have you look at those shows. You can catch up on some of the past shows here that we do. So just so you know, we don't do, we're not like your normal TikTok thing where people are arguing about is the moon half green or blue, or is the planet, is the Earth oblong, round, or flat. We don't talk about any of that stuff. We do an actual talk show here, as you now know. And as a talk show host, I am a host of the show, and we will usually bring on guests during the show. Lily Davy, Mean Blues, says, Astro Command took me. Little Davy, we're going to follow you. Little Davy, can you give us some insight to your story? You were 6 years old. So, Little Davy, we're going to have to get you up to 200 followers to go live with me tonight. But for now, I would say everybody follow Little Davy, Mean Blues. Can I do that? Can I pin him up? I can't do a pin on him. What is that? All right, I'm pinning the comment. So everybody, before I go and leave the station here, everybody follow Little Davy, Mean Blues. He has a story to tell tonight, hopefully. I want to get him up to 200, at least for audio. He needs 200 followers. So everybody follow him. And Little Davy, if we don't have you at 200 by tonight when you come on, we have a much bigger audience. We'll have everybody follow you, and I guarantee you we'll get to interview you tonight. So yeah, we'll definitely be interested. He has 40 followers. He needs to get up to 200. So he needs about 160 more followers. So if I can get everybody to follow Little Davy, I'd like to hear his story, or their story. Thank you, Kelly. And yeah, Kelly, if you have a story, Kelly Must, you want to share tonight, you can certainly do that. That goes for anybody out there. 200 plus followers audio, 800 plus on TikTok. You can go on live on your camera. We're going to get out of here for now. Believe it or not, the other part of my life is I micro farm, a light farm, and I grow watermelons, grapes, and strawberries. And I'm picking up, in the next week or so, I'm putting in blueberry plants. Angie says, Commander, I have a pic for you to look at. Yeah, Angie, send it to me, CmdrAleon at AOL.com. Little Davy, we're following you, and I want you to come on tonight. You have 48 followers. We'll get you up to 200 tonight on my show at 11. So we're going to sign out of here, folks. This has been the Cosmic Eye Radio Show here in Connecticut. Everybody have a beautiful Mother's Day wherever you are, and we love you all. Take care. Have a good day.